I see happening in nations and with the church is the fact that we enjoy the move of God. Good word, power, word. And we forget that we live within an environment. We live in a nation. And I'm telling the enemy is not happy with the freedom we have. He's not happy with this freedom of worship. He's not happy with what God has given us. And if he had his way, he will stop the move of God. You know, many years ago, an old prophet of mine by the name of Michael McCann came to Ghana. And he said, Nick, the enemy want to stop the move of God. And they are going to come after you. And if they succeed, they will kill this move of God that is coming. At that time, there was no charismatic church. Action was just a small fellowship. I had no idea what God was going to do. And I told Rob Kofi when it all began, I said, Bobby, there are people who will tell you don't come around me. Don't listen to them. They have no idea because this thing is not about me. And that time he didn't have a church. He was my outreach leader in the church. I said, there is a move coming and they want to kill it. And everything I prophesied to him came to pass. I said, this is not about me. This is about a move of God that will sweep this country and across the nations. And it happened. And it was very settled. And everything was done to take me down. When it failed, there was an assassinating plot and attempt to assassinate me on a Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. We were praying on a Tuesday, and the word of the Lord came and said, 3 men armed in mufti will come for you tomorrow with a gun to assassinate you. Resist the arrest, and this is what you do. So I followed them, and I called for a meeting. And one of them came to Tyson and told Tyson, we have to talk to the pastor. So Tyson came to me and said, there's a gentleman here that wants to see you. And I said, bring him. He came in armed. And he said, 3 of us are coming for you tomorrow for assassination. And I said, I'm aware. He said, how do you know? And I said, the big man at the top. And they came. It was on a Wednesday. We're having a service. And Michael McCann was in the service. And I took some of the elders. We went out to meet them at the airport. And I asked them, why are you here? And they said, we have instruction to pick you up. And I said, at 8:30, I've been reporting for 2 years now. This morning I reported, you have my passport. Why 8:30? And I said to them, I will not die today or die tomorrow. And I said, and furthermore, I will outlive all of you. All of you will die and I'll still be here. And they were furious. They were furious and they looked at me very angry. Those days we didn't have a cell phone. And so they looked at each other and they excused me and went on a Motorola, spoke to somebody and said, report tomorrow at 8:30 without fail. And I said, I'll be there. I called for prayer that night. We prayed all night. And the Lord said, when you go that morning, before the panel begin to interview you, request to pray. So I went with Bishop Ben Anum. You can sit down for 2 minutes, then we'll get ready to pray. I went with Bishop Ben. And before the panel began, just give me a few minutes of your time. I want to break that spiritual indulgence where we just have service and we love the beautiful atmosphere and we forget. Nations are under attack. A few weeks ago, I traveled to different African countries to meet with different presidents of 4 nations and all the 4 presidents. The nations are in trouble. Prayers must rise for Nigeria, Somalia, Bamako, Guinea, Burkina, La Côte d'Ivoire. We have to pray like we have never prayed before. And I said, can I pray? And they looked at each other and said, yes, pray. And something came on me. Something came on me. And I said, oh Lord, remember the sins and the iniquities of their fathers. And when they are brought before the judge, let them be guilty. And let their wives be widows. And let their children be fatherless. And let them go into a desolate land. And let nobody show their fatherless children mercy, because they showed not mercy to your servant. Let Satan be placed on their right hand. By the time I finished praying, they looked at each other and said, what is this? This is not fair. We are just doing our job. They told me to go and sit down there for 3 hours. Sitting there with Ben of blessed memory. And they came back and said, go, we'll call you. And that was the end of it. Please stand. Let's pray for this country. We want to secure the borders of Ghana. We want to pray into the conflict in Boko. These are first cousins. And we want to deal with whatever is fueling that ongoing conflict in Boko. That it will not become a major disaster that will affect Kumasi, Accra, and other parts of this country. That thing there you see at Boko has potential to do some damage to us as a people. We want to deal with our water bodies and this galamsey thing going on. We need some divine interventions. The thing is like a snake with many heads. We can't just leave it to the security agents. We can't leave it to the president and the government and the politicians. You see, politicians don't know how to cast out demons. I'm telling you, our security agents, our soldiers, and our police, they don't know how to deal with demons. You can't kill a demon. When you see a demon, you don't shoot a demon. So these are serious issues. And we as believers cannot relax until our airspace is safe. Until our borders are secure. And as long as there is conflict all around us, we are not secure. Taluku Salah. Mahan Kudu Kasilam Mahala Kataluka Salah. I want you to stand with 2 or 3 people, and I want us to lift prayer over Ghana. Secure the borders of Ghana. Secure the destiny of this nation. That the destiny of this nation will not fall into the hands of an enemy, an adversary, and that whatever Satan's agenda is for this nation shall be intercepted, and that it will not hold nor stand. Somebody open your mouth and pray for Ghana. Pray for Ghana. Secure our borders, our airspace, our water bodies, the land, the president, all that are in authority. Pray for our army, our military, our police, national security, our judiciary, Speaker of Parliament, the IGP. Lift up prayer. Modu Kasa, Leitu Kasu Kadila Kasis, Ilinda Busan, Kahando Kasulan, Wahasala.